Hello guys and welcome to my channel. I am here to share the Momotaro guide to creating manga. Now we're going to focus on chapter 1. Which comes first? Story versus character. Now let me change this little bullet. I'm just going to do regular. Now let's go ahead and get out of the way what you'll need for these upcoming videos. Oh, oh, it takes me out. So you'll need an an unnecessary amount of paper, notebook, and copy. Now, if you're digital, you just need to have a folder and label that the name. Uh, just label it Momotaro Guide for now. So that way, if you plan on following along, you'll be able to go directly to your work. Now, for those who are doing it traditional, you're going to need a lot of folders. Now, the unnecessary amounts of papers, both notebook and copy paper. The reason I say get notebook to keep your to keep your writing clear and organized, obviously. Not only that, you need like the little side panels to number things, to mark down things, because along the way, numbers are going to become important during this series. Folders. You need pretty much a lot of folders. You need folders for your story, to keep your story organized. You also need it to separate your character art, your scenes and stuff. So that way, when you're like, oh, I forgot how I drew this character, you can just go to your character folder and pull out the reference. The scenes, pull it out. Oh, I forgot what's supposed to happen in the story. Or I'm supposed to have some plot twist. You can go to your story folder and go through what you wrote down that's supposed to be done in a timely order and be like, okay, yeah. So the folders are to help keep everything separated and organized. But you can also get like one of those big multi-folder things with the folders with the multiple pocket slips, and that can be like the whole series in that one pocket thing. So let's just put little folders or pocket, mega pocket. I forgot what they're called, but you guys know what I mean, because they have like the little buttons on the outside so you can fasten it closed. Pencils. You can use pens too, you crazy demons. Um, what else? Paper clips. In case you're one of those paper clips, um, or something along the line of paper clips, like those little things with the metal things that fold back. You can use that too. Now you want those to help. You want paper clips and all that stuff to help keep your character art together in case you have multiple series and you just want to keep all your characters in one folders and so forth. Or better yet, you have some resources you could use from going through multiple tutorials and whatnot that you want to keep on hand. you guys get it. It's to help separate. Like, let's say you can't get multiple folders. Well, you can use the paper clips for one for your stories, the other for keeping your characters together, or separating your heroes from your villains, you know, basic stuff. Keep separating your outside scenes from your inside scenes, or like, let's say you have seasons and you need to design all these areas, or like you have like blueprints already made. And some can be like, this is the pre-era, this is the mid, here's the ending. And so you know, like, okay, I don't want this version, I need version one. But that's what they'll be used for. So we got a necessary amount of paper because, yeah, you're going to be doing. Oh, speaking of which, eraser is very important because you will be doing a lot of erasing as you come up with multiple ideas. Also, sticky notes. Sticky notes are good too because you might have an idea and you want to just write it on the sticky note and slap it on the notebook paper or the character for later on in case you be like, that's right. I need to write in this plot twist. Oh, that's right. I need to put in this secret. So that's all that I can think of as of right now until it comes across. Until we get to whatever point we may need another utensil. So I feel like I covered basically the basics. Now, for the real questions that you guys are here, what, which comes first? Sorry. Now, most would say story comes first because you'll have a roadmap to where you're going and not the and this and that. But the problem is, you may have your story, but what about the characters? It's like the chicken or the egg, which comes first? And I want to say the chicken kind of comes first, but then it's like, isn't the chicken born out of the egg? But anywho, that's the whole thing. See, I would rather the chicken come first because you got to warm that egg up and everything. Hence why the story, like the story, is the egg. You gotta warm it up in order to get the end product of what's gonna come out of the egg. Like you literally gotta go through the process of warming up the egg, making sure it's not too cold, making sure it's not too hot. And that's basically what a story feels like sometimes. You're trying to make sure you don't crack too soon or you don't crack too late. Is this warm enough? Is this cold? Is this too cold? And it's so fragile. Now, whereas for the chicken, we know what a chicken looks like. Like the real thing is it a rooster or is it a hen or a chicken or whatever? I don't know if there's a difference with the whole hen thing, but I think that's just the female name of it. But anywho, the chicken, which is putting the answer as into character. Now you're probably thinking, how is it character? Obviously, due to the fact that you can create a lot more. Okay, but create not only the story, but the rest of the cast. Now, how is this proven? For instance, I'm going to use one of my many examples that comes to my mind first. So, we have Sailor Moon, for example. Imagine that when you, let's say you're, is not, I can't say her name, but you know who she is. I feel so bad because I do love the way she used to dress and like what she did like right after she got bait. Like this woman says, I'm gonna buy my lifestyle. But anywho, she simply said she likes stars. She likes uniforms and stuff, and she also likes fashion. Now, that's basically what's going to go into the story of Sailor Moon. Now, when you see Sailor Moon, I immediately probably would have thought of somebody sailing through the stars and trying to come across each planet. When plot twist, no, it's just a girl in a cute sailor uniform fighting for the justice of love and all that stuff and trying to maintain the balance of a young girl's lifestyle and whatnot. That's what it felt like. Nobody would have never thought of that. Hence why you focus on the character. That's what Sailor Moon is versus what the show is. Because you never know. Because me being young, I literally thought Queen Beryl from the very first part of Sailor Moon, I thought that was it. I thought she was dead. I thought it was done. I thought it was over with. It was just it. And then it ended with I can't remember if it ended with Sailor Moon dying. No, no, no. It ended up with everybody's memories wiped. And so it's like you think, oh, this is the end of Sailor Moon. You're not really finna do the whole to fucking Galaxia. That girl was a gladiator. But focusing, you're not focused on going that far. You're just trying to get through the first villain and her little mini bosses. That's it. And so you're like, okay, the story. I want a story about the the universe. That's what I want in it. I like stars. I like the planets. I like the little things behind it. That's cool. That's gonna be in your story. And then you're like, but I also like fashion. That's gonna be in your story. That's the kind of story you want. So what kind of character is going to be in the story. Hence why you focus on the characters. That's how Sailor Moon came to be. Because the author likes stars and astrology. That's what it's called. I'm sorry, guys. She likes astrology or astronomy. Somewhere along those one of those words. And she said to herself, I like these things and I want my character to have it. Not the story had it too, but you need the piece to play the game. And so, boom, she made the fashionable Sailor Moon. Not only that, she had a ton of outfits that just made it feels like a young girl's dream. It's same thing with JoJo Bizarre Adventure. First, it started off like I want medieval witchery. And not only that, I want my characters I want one character to have an upbringing, but then his rival was saved by his father and whatnot or whatever. I mean, saved by the villain's father, and then he was old deaf, and that's how they came back into it because he owed you one thing, and then the main dude's dad's like, no, he's your new brother now because without him, you would be dead and all that stuff, you know? And it when you think about your character, you start to branch off into more characters, thus giving you a villain. So, what do hang on, let me put on my caps. What do you put into a character to form the story? Now, I just basically say that with the whole Sailor Moon thing. Like, oops, Sailor Moon. We had astronomy. I'm going with astronomy. That sounds so much. Maybe I got it wrong, but yeah, astro. Yeah, okay, that's right. Astronomy. Oh, astronomy plus we're gonna put young lady because it was more of a lady thing. Oh, and there you go. So this is basically what the author. There you go. That's what it was basically was. It, like Sailor Moon was basically astronomy. Young lady, let me put lifestyle or life, and fashion superhero for love. Boom, there she go. So now you gotta write down what you like. Like for instance, me, I'm more on the shonen side, but I do like shoujo, so I might gear towards something like Sailor Moon. But then I also like myths. So let's do Momotaro. So now with Momotaro, you may look it up. The story is about a young boy who was found in a giant peach by an old couple, or I don't know if it was just the old lady, but it was an old couple, and he wound up living with them for years. Some point, the devil sent the devil or some demons came to the couple's peach farm and stole some peaches. So and they ran up to the mountaintop. So when Momotaro found out, he took off on an adventure. But before he left, the old couple or lady gave him some food on for the journey. And on his way there, when he got to the woods or along the trail, he met a dog, bribed the dog with food, bribed the dog to help him with the food that the old lady or couple gave him. He did the same to the monkey and a bird. And when they got there, they defeated the demon and got the peaches back. And happily ever after, you know? So here we go. This is what we're gonna do. So Motaro, we're gonna do it like this. Now, this Momotaro doesn't have to be like the myth. Now, this is where things starts to get a little fun. We can instead put our likes into it. So me, I like myths. What else I like? I like magic. Hmm. What else do I like? I like myths. Well, that's what Moratar is. It's a myth. It's like a folklore. I love action. Now, see, in the folklore, it wasn't like the story itself is just short, sweet, and simple. I assume. And then what else? I like super moves. What else? Life advice. Now, this doesn't help happen in the folklore, but how can I put this? So like let's say while Momotaro's on the trail to get the peaches back through, let's say he was kind of sheltered or something, or an introvert if you will. So he was inspired by, here we go. Here's something else I could add. Instead of doing the obvious folklore, I can put samurais. He fell in love with the samurais. He will always watch them go through the parade and stuff. And The only reason he became cool with one samurai was because the samurai liked the old couple's peaches and stuff. There you go. Backstory. So again, try not to think too in it. Just put your likes, what you like. So I like samurai, magic. I do like super moves, and I like life advice. Now, now you could put dinosaurs. You could put cooking in general. Where get this, the demon just stole the peaches because it was the only thing that tasted good that he liked, and so maybe Momotaro teaches him how to make his own peaches with the seeds, and like turns out he has like a ton of seeds in the cave that he could have been planted over years, and it could have grew or something. Uh, what else? Or better yet, he teaches. He tells, or like there's a crazy plot twist where it turns out the demon literally has like a bunch of animals, and he could Momotaro could teach him how to like properly butcher the animals to make food and stuff, or better yet, just help him make his own little vegetable garden. It funny plot twist. It works out. Everybody gets a laugh. You get your story. But yeah, so samurai magic, super moves, life advice. Those are my main likes right there. What else? Also, feel free to change it. Like you like pets. Um, maybe you like looking around fashion too, cars or something. Trust me, it'll all play into it. Just put your likes down or write a list of your likes and like mark your favorite ones. Like literally dig in deep. Or better yet, go watch a TV show, go or write down your favorite movies. Let's do that too. We're gonna do that too because that's gonna help later on. So my favorite movies would be seven. Was it 47 Ronin? I can't remember. I'm so old. Um, I do like a good Dracula film, or better yet, I'm not gonna say that. What's the other one? What's that other one? Okay. Mm, yeah, because that comes close to both my magic and little life advice combined in a sense. And then what else? Action, action, action. I like coming of age movies. So that's a good example too. Like these little combos right here can pop something out if you take your time with it. Now, when you sit here and you put all your likes into your character, this is basically what they would consider the proper self insert. Some of you are probably like, how is this a self insert? Because you're putting your likes into the character. This is one of them. So let me turn this on. All right, so let's put pouring. So pouring your likes into the character is basically what we did, hence what the creator of Sailor Moon did too. Now another one is placing pieces of your life into the character. Now, how does this work? We're going to put yourself to yourself into the character. Now, with this, you're not putting your whole self into it. Like, for instance, me, I'm clumsy. I tend to roam a lot or get easily distracted. Or sometimes my mind would literally go into autopilot unintentionally. And what I mean by that is sometimes I have moments where you can hand me something and within the next 3 seconds it will vanish from my hand and I will literally not have any clue where I put that item. Like one time I accidentally threw away a coworker's phone, but I thought I gave it away the to a vendor, and it turns out I somehow unconsciously threw it in the trash can. Like I literally didn't know it was in there until I called it. And thank goodness we did not take the trash out, but at the same time I thought I put it in the compactor for cardboard. That would have been more terrifying. But I could put that into the character, thus creating a whole nother story where the antagonist would try to use that to continue to steal stuff. Like people would be like, "Oh, you gave it to her. That's where you messed up at because she's lucky if she remembers where it's supposed to go." Or if she's not, or if it'd be like a super busy day, and like I said, with my coworker's phone, let's say um because I forgot to hand the phone to the rightful person, that they gave up thinking, oh, the phone is long gone, it's in the trash now, da da da. But it turns out no, it didn't make it to the trash, it's in the bag. And then get this, the phone isn't locked, and the character could be nosy, which I am not. I trust me, I'm too scared to go through my own phone sometimes, or better yet, let alone my mom's or my dad's. And or like when there was a phone call, it was like what, from 911, or she's like, you know what, I'll just call this person and let them know, hey, this phone is at Dollar Tree, we got it and all that stuff, but nobody comes to get it. It just spirals into this whole mystery where, or better yet, she looks into the phone or she sees the text message and be like, hey, you should play this number. So when she goes to play the number at the lottery, she wins and she keeps the phone because it could go either ways. Like when she forgets the phone, the store winds up getting held hostage or something until they get the phone back. So now it's just this one little short episode of them trying to find the phone, or somebody's trying to, while in the sideline, somebody else trying to escape. But you get what I'm saying. Now another method is creating the opposite version of yourself, or now this is where watching a lot of TV and stuff do come into play. So let's say you, I know some of us have it in us. Like for instance, if we were a better race car driver, or we were snobby but a humble snob, and sometimes you got to be a little more realistic and keep track of what the character does, because when you're nice, you can still get screwed over. While when you're mean, you can still have good things come to you. But the problem is, in some situations, yeah, it can be tragic. But do note, while you're being mean, it just builds up and it hits you in long term. While when you're being nice, you get rewarded somehow, not if not by money, by somebody else doing a good deed, or because someone thought of you and said, "Hey, would you like this?" Like recently, I just got a quesadilla maker for free, or um how sometimes I would have people be like, "Oh, I'll bring you this," and it's like, no, no, because it's like, don't go out of your way to do all that. Like sometimes I do humble myself to where it's like I don't need all that, but thank you though. Like I do tell them thank you. Always say thank you when people try to give you stuff, and then sometimes just take it. I try not to say no thank you because I do feel bad for those who just try to give to just be trying to give. And then like with the people with the saltiness, trust me, the salt does overflow it to the point where it's just all they get high blood pressure and all that good stuff. But you guys get it. I'm sorry, I keep going off, and I know you guys are like, yeah, you're just rambling. But these are the main three little pieces of trying to, where is it? This and this. So the proper self insert devices are right there. That's what you want. Pouring your likes into the character. Now this is not a piece of you, but let's say you like puppies. It's a dog man or something, or you want to create a different type of beast star. Um, what else? Or better yet, you like Rick and Morty. You want to create, and you saw an episode of Rick and Morty that you wish they would have created on. Like, what was it? Um, That was one. I think it was the Sherlock Holmes one. I think that was recent. I would like a Sherlock Holmes Rick and Morty. Also, when are they gonna use that little box thing on the shelf? Also, when are they gonna move that bowl of fruit? That's a real good question. But focusing, focusing. So now, after you put your likes into there, if you feel like that's not enough, you can place pieces of your life or yourself into it. Like you're clumsy, or there's a little thing that you always do that can help save your character. Like for instance, your character gets framed for not putting the money in the right place in the drawer, and now they think your character stole $100 bill when it turns out no, somebody took it out of their drawer when they was out of sight of the camera or something. Um, or better yet, your character has good memory. Like what was it? I think it was it Beverly? I can't Cameron or something. Cameron, the one about the girl who has great memory, and she'll go click or something. Because if she focuses on something long enough, she can literally remember what she saw, even behind you and stuff like that. There's her. Um, and then like creating the opposite version of you. You might be a bad person, but then it's like not to get too personal, you wish you could have done better type of thing. Or for instance, I'm scared of spiders, but the character I create really likes spiders. Now, moving on. Now, some of you are probably like, we are really not gonna get into the story part right now. See, this actually kind of helps. So, branching into the cast. Now, you have, where's the thing? And now, the antagonist is more important than the love interest. And then you also have the best friend. Now, the best friend and the love interest are like neck to neck. But the best friend is the is usually the support love interest. Now this is why it's neck to neck with the love interest and the best friend, because the love interest is usually like, I don't know how to put it. Well, you know what? I'm gonna be blunt. The goal. That's how we're gonna put it for now. The goal, or something to work towards. Maybe it's like a character self improvement. Like he really likes this person, finds this person tolerable and stuff like that, and maybe he needs to change his ways, or maybe he's trying to open up a little more. That's a real good one. The hero is trying to open up. Oh, you know what? I got something better. And I promise you, this is the most accurate way I can put it. So you're trying to get to work, or you and the love interest are walking along the sidewalk, or you and your best friend walking along the sidewalk. Out of nowhere, you trip, you scrape your knee, or better yet, you break your arm. You don't know because it's unnecessary that the sidewalk is so crooked. But that's what the antagonist is sometimes. And also, that's accurate too. Now you're probably thinking, shouldn't you just say obstacle? No, because there's different levels to just the obstacle, in my opinion. When you say obstacle, you guys think, oh, I'll just jump over it. No, 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 no. You will not just jump over it, because one, while you sitting up here jumping midair, here comes this deer left field, running straight out of the woods as you're in midair, about to run you and itself into the middle of the street. Y'all both about to get bodied. It's unexpected. We didn't see it coming. And that's why we love antagonists. You don't see them coming. You don't know what they're gonna do. And it's like, okay, was this really necessary? Hence why they're the unnecessary tilt in the sidewalk. You walk the sidewalk so many times. You never tripped before until this one day you is gonna feel all the rocks in this grass. And it's like, no, not today. But it doesn't care because you're not going to fix it. Nobody can. It's just the way it is. So it's like, yes, this is a nice sidewalk, but that little one to maybe 5 centimeter tilt, it's gonna take you out. Why? Because your shoes, you're too tired from work, and you don't feel like lifting your feet all the way sometimes. So just when you thought maybe I'll lift my feet up maybe a few centimeters, or you dragging your feet. The sidewalk's like, yeah, keep dragging your feet. See what happens. That's what antagonists are like to me personally. So It's just like, for instance, uh, was it Naru? Yeah, her mom. Like, you think, oh, this is just her mom being crazy and stuff, and I was like, yeah, she's up to something. She's about to steal all these people money or the jury's fake. Left field, nah. Turns out it's a copycat mimic thing. That's not Naru's real mom. It's a villain from outer space that wants to just suck everybody's soul. That was the most left field thing I ever seen in Sailor Moon as a young kid. I literally thought she was just selling fake jewelry, but nah, she's just unnecessary. Like, you come home from school, your mama's trying to talking about sales and stuff, and you're like, okay, business be booming. Plot twist. No, business not be booming. Business be scheming. Like, I never expected that though. It's just like with One Piece. Luffy eats a fruit, and or better yet, Luffy eats a fruit, makes him stretchy and all that good stuff. Then I guess he somehow winds up in the ocean. I can't remember. I'm about to rewatch that series anyway. And there's a monster. His role model Shanks fends it off and all that good stuff. But plot twist, he lost his whole arm. Well, I'm like, well, okay, screw it, I guess. You, uh, but that's how it is. Now the love interest. Now it's either like just trying to get with the love interest in the end, or it's just something to work towards. Or okay, put it like this. We're gonna call it the, and then we're gonna do this. There's usually a love interest or the interest. So Luffy's interest is just becoming a pirate king. That's what the goal or what he's working towards. And then if it was a love interest, we would say Sailor V if you read the manga. It's like every time she tries to fall in love with somebody, but then again, antagonist tactics happen and something goes left field. Like sometimes, like what was I think it was the first one, it turned out the dude was a villain in disguise. Then sometimes it's not even the dude that's the villain. It'll be like some type of tactic of some sort where she wants chocolate, but it turns out somebody did something to the chocolate. She wants I can't remember all of them. I got the books. It was chocolate, or there'll be like idols and stuff, or there'll be somebody up to some scheming. I remember one time, instead of it being the Dark Kingdom, it was just a dark corporation that was working under the Dark Kingdom. So it was just crazy. It's like sometimes it might just be the interest itself that's killing that's the antagonist. So, best friend, the support. Now with Sailor V, it was the cat. Same thing with Sailor Moon. With Luffy, it would eventually be his crew. And like I said, that's where the whole creating the hero and branching into the cast comes into play. Because it's just like a guild thing. Oh, let me. Now, this is just again a concept. Don't take it. So, the swordsman is usually the main guy. The healer is the support. The magician is like the informational type person. So here we go. So please, so with your hero, you basically just start branching off into creating the guild or the group, if you will, and go from there. So let me think. So got think like a guild. So you want your swordmist to be the main hero, and sometimes it doesn't even have to be the main hero. It can be the healer can be the lead type person, like where it's a very supporting main lead who likes to support people and helping them reach their goals. And it can be somebody who's informational, just like Deku from My Hero Academia, where he does become useful to his friends about how they should improve on their quirks and stuff like that. So that's how that stuff will work out. Now, with all that in mind, this is like a good little start into working on your characters. Now, write these down, and I'm trying to think. So so here's some things I know that you need for your characters. So now character creation, you need at least some basic information so it can help you better understand how your character is supposed to act and all that stuff. So we need age. So it's age, gender, um, likes, likes. Mm, Sometimes background helps. Patient, like what they're currently doing. So it could be like student, wife, yada da da da. Age, gender, likes, dislikes, da da da. Height sometimes help to make sure you keep up with who's tall, certain things like that. That's basically what I could come. It's just basic stuff. You might find like another character creation little list. You can just look it up on the internet. I know there's like plenty of. It's called character creation template. Type that in and it should pop up like a list of things you can use as guides to create your characters. Sometimes people, what also I've read is language style, so you can tell if here. Now, why does that matter? Because sometimes they can talk proper and immediately go into slang, showing that like they can switch up the language barrier, which can be useful in certain situations, like where they go from street smart to actually being professional, which can help somebody sneak in or get a job or something. And I remember there was this little manga somewhere where um this business dude was like just bored with life, but he likes a cashier, and she was just so customer service friendly. But it turns out she she's actually not like that in real life, and I guess that actually helps readers understand somewhat of a barrier. I mean, to help readers understand that all because you see this person act this way at work in the grocery store, while or you see the cashier act such way in the grocery store, doesn't mean they're always going to be like that when they take off that apron and their name tag. Because it was like a whole different personality, because she was in the back smoking and she looked like she could be like, she looked like she lives a bit of a, I wouldn't say a rough life, like, but she doesn't look as friendly. She doesn't seem like she seems tough in a sense, not like biker tough, but like she has a leather jacket on. She seems like she got that casual life attitude, like life done slapped me and I'm ready to slap back because she was smoking a cigarette. But again, she goes into the store and clocks in from her break and stuff. She's back to being this somewhat cheery personality. So that's why that language barrier is important right there. Whereas, like, somebody, if you hear somebody speak properly, you think, okay, they're really into school versus somebody who's common, who's like, oh, well, she's got a concept of how to do this stuff. Whereas somebody who speaks slang, I'm not gonna lie, they probably don't know what on earth is going on. Now you could also use this as a plot twist where even though they speak proper English, they don't know what to do in science. Whereas they speak slang, they literally got like a 98 in English, and you're looking at them like you don't even like my guy. You still use the word ain't. How did you get a 98? But it helps when you just mix it up. Hang on. I'll be right back. So this is about an hour long, and I apologize for that, but I'm really just trying to help you guys understand how these things work together. Now you can use these for all your characters. So for instance, it could be for occupation student. Hang on. Oh, okay. I get my glasses at least Wednesday. Student wife, uh council president, um, or whatever occupation your world has. For instance, uh, there you go. Concept of what to put in the occupation so you know what your character does, and just put the slash and whatever else. So that way you know how this works. Um, hmm. So we got that. Now I would go into story, but this is an hour long as it is. So this is basically a good guide. So here we go. How about this? I'll do a quick example for you guys on how to do this. Control C. Come on now, crazy computer. Sorry, my computer's not the best. I'm just gonna repaste this real quick. Now, this is the character's name, Momotaro. So age, going into the woods by themselves. It could be like I'll give it 16. As far as low as I'll go. Hey Padman, what you doing between my legs, you crazy kitty cat, you little foot demon? Mm. Let's put because you want her to have some. You want the character to have at least a little weakness in their little professions, so that way we. So, because if you're gonna do them perfect, then like if they're perfect in their profession, they are most definitely highly likely an introvert. So if they're such pros at it, then they don't like people. In a discussion, they just don't want to be bothered by people. Or they don't like animals, at least. Like, I don't know. Because if you're a pro at something, then you put all your time into it. And I know Roger said from American Dad, if you love it, you'll find time for it. But at the same time, it's just me. Um, Something that's gonna really affect them in the story. Like it could be somewhat peach related or close to it. Now you can do all types where she switches up, but let's just do main. Because I mean, obviously, when you're in the presence of higher up, you're gonna go proper so you don't get yelled at. All right, and there you go. Here's my little character right here. So you don't have to put Momotaro, but here's a good concept of what my character is in the story. And when you, like I said, put some of your likes into it, you or your dislikes. So my dislikes, I hate spiders, and I watch too many horror movies, which makes me jump every time something that would happen in a horror movie happens. I love animals because I got a foot demon. I let that slide. Broom ride sound fun. It's like to me either riding a bike or a motorcycle. I like I like fireworks, and then I just turned it into magic effects. I don't like science for real, or I suck at proportioning seasons in my food. So potion creation makes sense. So it's like you're not trying to put all of you into it, just pieces of you. Cause one, I'm mid class, and you know what? I'm gonna change this because that's a little too much. Let's put third. There we go. Or better yet, to add pressure since it's in a state, because there's always the whole idea that the firstborn is supposed to be the best child. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing, man. No, no, no. I'm in the right. Okay. Now the occupation, student, which worker. We'll figure that out along the way. And we're gonna put where she goes around certain villages. So it's like her job is to like pop up in villages and solve supernatural problems and stuff like that. And there we go. This is my character I created for whatever story I had in my head. Um but you can do this also for your character. Now, you guys are like, well, what about the others? Here we go. Now you can do the same thing for the antagonist, but for right now, we're gonna do a description of why the antagonist exists. This will basically help us scope the antagonist in our mind, and then we'll be like, okay, now for the little petty details. So, Momotaro, or your hero, if you will, let's put, you want to at least have a good, a finished sculpture, not like description or purpose, like a complete sculpture of what the hero looks like. While the antagonist, you just want to do a straight up why are they here type of thing. So antagonist, or now sometimes, like for instance, watching Little Witch Academia, not gonna lie, what was it? It turns out the kids were messing with the wand. So I will say the whole antagonist point of the I think it was, well, in the first movie it was what's her name? Danielle. What's her name? Danielle? I think it was Danielle. It was her friend's pride because they set up there and zapped the dragon, and the dragon um set up there and consumed their powers and yada yada. So that was the villain right there, the pride of her friends or whatnot. While in the second one, it was the whole concept of witches suck, and they, or better yet, it was I can't think it. Well, it was the main girl's focus on trying to prove how awesome, like her blinded focus on trying to prove how awesome witches were, which caused their friendship to break up in a sense. Because sometimes the antagonist isn't really physical, but something, it's more of a moral of the story, so, or the problem, if you will. So now the villain or the problem is, um, we can do something, and we're gonna put slash someone. Now this is gonna go back to the whole peach thing a little bit. Experience, causing a village to experience droughts in their crops. Because if you're indecisive about what it is, just put slashes and you'll decide along the way. Now, I'm one of those people who need to be real precise when I leave sticky notes because I don't know what it is with my poor little noodle, but when I put part of the problem, for some odd reason, my noodle wants to straighten out and go complete bland and blank. So that now it doesn't have to be like scary. It can just look like a normal house that is just coated in like flowers, like a little cottage with flower walls and stuff. Like it's the only natural greenish flourishing looking spot in the whole village while everything looks like it's just straight up dying and all that stuff. So that's the antagonist or the villain. Now we don't know for sure what the villain is, but we at least got the problem part down. Now our have a we're gonna put this. Now this could be somebody. This could also be somewhat of the best friend in a sense, because I remember it was in the series of the White Dragon. There was a man who was chasing riches and stuff like that, and so he was trying to marry, I think, a princess. But while he was trying to do a magic trick, the or try to gift her something, it turned the trick had turned the whole thing into a rooster, and the princess became offended. While the magician was in the dungeon, his assistant, who has always had a crush on him, had to sneak into the princess' room at night to let him know. To let the princess know that she misjudged the chicken because the chicken was supposed to be a nightingale. But I don't know if the assistant sat up there and switched the feather because she didn't want him to marry the princess or what. But it was like one of those moments where it was like the love interest or the crush, the secret admirer or the longtime friend sabotages the main lead chances of being with somebody simply because they love them type of thing. You guys know. I sometimes roll my eyes at that stuff, and it's like you went through all this rigmarole and could have got this person killed, or you could have wound up in jail yourself, where you could have just told the person. But that's the drama, and I started to understand. So without that whole rigmarole, there really wouldn't be a story. Plus, why are you here? And it's like, okay, but so so let's do. Should I describe it? Now you can do the same thing too as the antagonist, but unless you know exactly. So here we go. Here, I'll just go ahead. Now he could also be the support. If now this could also be the support too if you want to. That's totally up to you. Now, basically, once you figure out, once you get your problem solved out. So, for instance, that is so backwards. Okay, so we could put adult. Mm, don't know the gender. We'll say bugs because um occupation. We'll make it a witch because how else are is his the spot the only one that grows? And we'll do. Mm, I'm just throwing stuff down. Mm, and make him seem older a little bit, or older in the witchcraft. There we go. And so we'll bold this. Bold. Become bold. And then bold underline. So that's what you do. So when you're like describing the problem or the antagonist a little bit, like let's say you don't really have an antagonist, so then you'd be like, okay, then what's the problem? Something or someone is causing the village to experience drought in their crops. And then now you can just take that. What would this person look like that is causing the drought in the village? Is it really a florist? Is this person reviving dead people in their backyard or some crazy nonsense? Like, it's all up to you and what you like. Now, the love interest, like I said, it can also be somewhat of the support. And then once you got a good idea how you want them to look, you just type it all down and go from there. But yeah, I'm gonna end this video. But yeah, this is something for you guys to look at. I'm gonna like slowly scroll. Feel free to write some notes. Now, like I said, you can find more character information templates on the internet. There's plenty of them. This is just me giving like a rough sketch idea. This might not even be like all that you need, but it's like what I can remember. An example. Now, I'm gonna be nice, and instead of actually trying to turn this into a series or something, we're gonna aim for like one shot status, and so that way you guys don't feel so overwhelmed doing this. But yeah, that is it. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Have fun like branching out all your characters. Now my advice is hmm my advice here we go. Let me see. I'm gonna add this too, so that way you guys won't be too confused on like leaving comments saying how many people you should have in your cast. So let's just fill in these shoes for now. So fill in the shoes, or better yet, replace these characters only. Momotaro. Now, Momotaro Shihiro, the grandparents are basically somewhat of the people who sees them on their way in a sense, or the victims of the situation, while Momotaro has to help fix the problem for him. The bird is basically your healer. Now I know it's odd. You like, isn't the dog supposed to be the swordsman? No, because the dog sniffs, while the monkey does all the unnecessary flinging. Uh, but yeah, this is basically. And then for the minion, it's basically in their name, mini boss. Hang on. So these are basically the only people you should focus on replacing in case you branch off ahead. Because I hope I might just go ahead and work on mines too. So it's basically just scripting ideas together. Oh, huh. But let's see. Write down in the comments below if you want to go 16 pages, 32 pages, or 60 pages. Well, well, 16 pages is too easy. How about 32 or 64? Let's make it a 64, 62 one. I forgot which one comes after that. I'm not doing 48. That seems too meh to me. 32 or 64. I like to double my numbers. 16 pages basically like a quick little short or something. Like how what's a good little short? It's basically like back in the day when Disney had those little skits and stuff. That's what it is. 60 pages are basically just a little skit, if anything. So like 32 or 64. Let's like write down in the comment how many pages you guys want to aim for, and I will show you how to do so. You guys have a wonderful day and have fun branching off your characters.